This one we talking about a good father is a blessing. We're not just talking about fathers, we're talking about role models too. And just, having good people in your life. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I was just thinking about the fact that how much of an impact my father had in my life and how he was able to develop me and shape me and teach me things to navigate through life. And I wanted to just say like a good father, the importance of fatherhood. But then I was like, oh no, I got to talk about like how a good father is a blessing, not just the importance of fatherhood. Because some people may have fathers, but they might not have a father that actually taught them things, or might not have a father who was actually, providing for them, or actually, making an impact in their life. They might have just had a father, you know what I mean? Like they could have been an absent father or something like that. So I'm in this one. I'm just really talking about how pretty much my experience and how from a young child up until now, like the way my father was able to develop me, and how I can see through people who may have not had a father, an active father in their life, how it kind of shaped their way of thinking. Because it's like one thing I noticed, it's almost like a disciplinarian, like a coach that you have, like the same way having a good coach in sports would keep a player head, like their head more level headed, like Michael Jordan with Phil Jackson and stuff like that. Like if you have a good coach, and that's usually what your father is. Like your mother is a nurturer. Your mother is making sure you have food to eat. Your mother makes sure you have all your essentials. She's making sure, oh, is my baby okay? That's kind of what your mother is there for. But your father is there to lead you and coach you and teach you. Of course, like I've learned things from my mom, but it's in a very different way. And I remember things from my father throughout my whole life that I apply now that I learned when I was a child. So some things that I would say is just like the fact that me getting emotional, when I would get emotional and like kind of like almost have an outburst or complain, like he would shut that down very fast. It's like I almost wasn't allowed to like complain and stuff like that, and that helps me with my accountability to this day. Just my own father in my life, the way he would shut it down when I would complain, like whether it was over sports, I might be mad about the outcome of something going on in sports, and I'll start whining and complaining, and he would just, as a man, like be like, stop all that complaining, you know what I mean? Like it would just really just make you kind of like, dang, like I'm not supposed to really just be complaining like that. Like what you gonna do about it? And that really got instilled into me. What you gonna do about it? Whenever I'll get to complaining about something, it's like, no, we gonna find a solution. You're not gonna sit here and whine. You can go whine to your mom and she gonna, oh baby, it's gonna be all right. But no, like that's what taught me solutions. I started learning like, okay, like I gotta do solutions. If I'm not getting the PT I wanted in sports, okay, you need to get in the gym. He would have me put my goals on a piece of paper on my mirror. Like, okay, we're gonna get our bench press up. We're gonna get our 40 time down. We're gonna, and I would have to knock these goals out. You know what I mean? Instead of just complaining. And then, you have some parents, they'll go up and complain to the coach, like, why ain't my baby getting playing time? And they mama, I would see they mama do that. It wouldn't be their dad doing that. Whole time my dad got me working. And these are the lessons that I carried on in life. Like you're not gonna be able to have your mama come up there and complain for you. You gotta work to get what it is that you want. And this is what I mean by having a good father is a blessing, because that I apply that to everything I do in life now. YouTube, tattooing, just regular work and building my life. Like I understand that it's on me to do it. I can't just depend on my mom coming up and complaining. Just imagine you trying to get a promotion at your job. You can't bring your mom up there and she gonna complain for you. Nah, you gotta actually put the work in. You gotta actually make yourself better. You have to do what it takes to excel to the next level. So that's important. And a lot of people may not like this, not hearing this. You know what I mean? Like because there's people who may have not had a father, and they may want to diminish the importance of a good father because they may have not have had one. But I'm just speaking on from my experience, how I've seen not having a father, how that affected others, and seeing how that actually helped me. And I didn't even realize a lot of this stuff until now. And then I have other friends who have good fathers in their lives too, and I really see how it had an impact on them and how it was able to excel them. I got friends who are above average in what they do because of their father. You know what I'm saying? Because of the lessons that they learn from them. And if you don't have a father, a lot of times you kind of just lost in figuring stuff out. And you understand how we almost seek out role models, masculine role models through other people. I mean, they talk about it all the time. Oh, why the kids join gangs? Because they want acceptance from other males and stuff like that. But when you have a father, especially a good father, like you look at him like Superman. That's how I looked at my dad. When my dad, ever since I was little, I remember because my dad was like a bodybuilder. So like I always looked at him like Superman. So like to me, he was the archetype. So I'm not really looking at other people like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be, or oh, that's what I'm supposed to be. Because like to me, in my eyes, my dad, he was the person to look up to. You know what I mean? So if a lot of people don't have that, you'll seek out role models and other things that you see. So you may see what like I'm gonna just speak on the black community right now, just because that's what I can identify with. But they might see drug dealers, the person who has rank. You know what I mean? Like they the person who people look to. Like when I would be out with my dad I remember like a 6-year-old, and he's just this big swole dude, 6'2", 240, muscular, you know what I'm saying? And everybody is showing him respect, and everybody just talks to him a certain way. People run up to him like, what, was you in the NFL or something like that? Like I'm seeing people gravitating towards him. So it made me look at him like somebody. And people do the same thing with nowadays with rappers or even streamers nowadays, because they're the people with all the so-called clout, right? And like in neighborhoods, drug dealers or whoever has the money, because people are gravitating to them. They're going up to them because they need help from them, or the women are gravitating towards them. So that's where the importance of a good father comes in. And that's why a good father is a blessing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you're saying Jesus, but like in the Bible, it is saying, honor thy father and thy mother. This is me honoring my father right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a blessing in my life. You know what I mean? So that is so important. And a lot of the stuff we're seeing today, a lot of the stuff we see on the internet that is just like baffling to a lot of people, is due to a lack of good fathers, I believe, personally. And like to this day, I still get checked. My father still checks me, like if I'm talking crazy or if I'm saying anything. I'm 30 years old, so I'm my own man at the end of the day, and I have my own mind. But still, he's always gonna provide me with some knowledge and some wisdom. And then on top of that, it's like there's like a programming in your head that you get. Like it's almost like when he's not around, he's still around. You know what I mean? Like that influences a lot of the decisions I make. Like there's certain things I just will and won't do because I know, like I'm like, my dad gonna look at me like a goofy if I do this. You know what I mean? Like it's certain things I have to move a certain way just because I respect his opinion that much, to where it's like I'm not trying to look like a goofy in his eyes. I don't care what anybody else thinks, but if I do this, he's gonna look at me like you lame. You know what I mean? Like I don't want my father to look at me like that. And I think that's important. If you don't have a father, you may not look like you're just making decisions and you have nobody to hold you accountable for real. That's something like when I was growing up, I had friends who didn't have fathers in their lives, and there was no gay shit. So what you mean by that? What you mean by that? But like growing up, y'all keep commenting, man, because I'll respond to y'all comments. But like I had people who didn't have fathers in their lives, and they kind of was just do whatever. And like, you know how it is. Like my parents weren't together though. So like your parents respond a certain way when you do stuff. And it's almost like, you know how it was with your mom. Like once the whooping stopped like really working and hurting, you really just did what you wanted, because it's like, what you gonna do? Whoop me? Like that's not gonna do nothing. And then even when I would be on punishment, like I was still buck, like I'm still out the house. When I moved with my dad, well, I was good. I was good. I was goody two shoes when I lived with my dad for real. I could, I didn't want to do nothing with him. You know what I mean? Like it's just a level of respect there with your father that is different. Like, of course, you respect your mom and stuff like that, but it's just like once you start trying, once you get that little rebellious spirit in you, it's only so much your mom can do with you. You know what I mean? And like, my mom's tough. Like 9 brothers. Like she from Kansas City. Like she's not no bitch. You feel me? Like she's not no pushover at all. So still, like her, still couldn't really do too much with me. So like that, like I'm saying, that's the importance of fatherhood. And you see a lot of stuff in social media, like when people talking about black fatigue and people talking about like all these people running around doing this and that. That's from lack of fatherhood. That's from a lack of a good father. You know what I mean? And if people put more importance on fatherhood and being present and really like raising kids, it will make a difference. And like me personally, I don't have any children, but like my sisters, they have like one of my sisters has 4 boys, one of my sisters she has a child too. But like I saw early what happens like when people have children and they're not married and they're not prepared for it. So that really like made me careful. My dad, he was telling me young, like before I was even messing with females, like he's like, you need to wear condoms, man. You don't need to be out here knocking up no hoochies and stuff like that. He's still telling me that. You know what I mean? Like he's like, when you ready to have kids, make sure it's with the right woman and everything like that. So it influenced your decisions. You know what I mean? And to this day, like I'm like, man, I want to have when I have my child, I want to be able to be in their life 24/7. I want to be able to actually raise my kids and really like instill stuff into them and like really like have a relationship with them, as they're growing up and going through life. Because I seen the impact that it had on me. And even though my parents weren't together and my mom lived far away from my dad and stuff like that, like I still was able to learn from him. So I'm like, I know that I could really have an impact in my child's life if I'm around all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be too long winded. I'm just trying to, get back in the motion of going live. So that was just a quick one for the night, man. It's late. I'm about to go to the gym. So y'all tap in, man. It's AG33. I'm out.